welcome, Take on Mars viewers. I am going to go through a couple of training missions at the very beginning of the game. We are going to watch the very beginning of the Take on Mars opening and kind of get some hype going for this game. I've been working on a mod for quite a long time. I'm done with it. It's pretty good, I think. It's got some issues about how to do the timing in the game, but for all intents and purposes it's ready to go. So we are going to check the training out and the movie Take on Mars. Well, that was a good intro. Basically, in the game, the way I'm going to be playing my scenario is that I will start with rover missions, which is in the space program. I'm going to restart a rover mission, or the lander missions and everything, and that's a little bit later on. Right now, and of course there's add-ons that you can get from the Steam Workshop. I've got a few of those in there, plus my own. There's multiplayer, and there's a fellow playing in there right now. He's not using any mods or anything. We haven't really messed with that too much yet. There are scenarios. I've created a bunch of scenarios in here working on my scenario that I'm creating. There's the Take on Mars scenarios. These give you an idea of the different things that you can do. The training probably is a pretty good place to start. Now there's a couple of Europa sessions, which I have not even played yet, so that's going to be pretty cool. And there's a player scenario here, and there's some other scenarios that I opened up to check out on my own. We'll do that later. Let's go into the training, and I don't know if it's sequential. There's base building, there's power, there's communications, there's driving, that sort of thing. I think you can save your progress and come back. Oh, there's manned and robotics training. I didn't know that, actually. To prepare for and succeed in the harsh environments that the solar system has to offer, astronauts need training. Here you will learn how to harness the tools and technology available to keep you alive. From Stephen Hawking, intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. Hey, I don't know about that. The only source of knowledge is experience. Well, it's education too. I can't seem to scroll any further. Let's start out with the basic probe. And so we have to...
For your first day, we'll start gently with the probe. That's the simplest vehicle you will encounter. The landing sequence is entirely automated. You can observe the fall via the fixed camera plugged at the front of the probe.
We're above the area, preparing for the drop.
I hit the C key, but nothing happened, and everything's dark here.
You can switch to the external camera
There
with
it
the
is.
camera key to observe the automatic landing thrusters. Press the camera key several times to loop between the different cameras.
Ooh, that was a rather rough landing.
Great, that was a hassle-free landing. Now, before we start, there's some information to assimilate to remotely control the vehicle. Let's go through them one by one, starting with location info at the bottom left corner. Each element of the interface can be minimized and maximized by clicking the Minimize Maximize button with the mouse cursor. Use the right mouse button to show and hide the cursor. This panel shows the local and earth button of the location panel to reveal even temperature and air pressure when the vehicle is equipped with an environmental monitoring station.
Fast.
The next one is the mission panel at the top left corner. You can see here the vehicle's name, the SOLS for Solar Day on Mars, since the start of the mission, and the distance traveled by the vehicle. Let's go through the 4 drop-down tabs one by one. The navigation tab filters the waypoints displayed on your interface which are in relation to the mission's tasks. It also provides a live feed satellite view with vehicle tracking.
So you don't go ahead of the speech. If you do it too fast, it overruns.
The mission tab provides detailed information about the current mission and its objectives. Click on the tasks arrow to switch to an overview of all the unachieved tasks assigned to the current mission. You can see here that only one task is scheduled. We'll get to it later. You will have noticed that an Explore task has been automatically completed at the probe's landing. The Explore task is always performed at each mission start. It confirms a successful vehicle landing. The Log tab logs events of the mission and vehicle. The Connect tab shows a list of all active vehicles in the same area and allows you to connect and take control of them directly. Now, close the current tab so we can continue. The vehicle's standard controls panel is located at the bottom of the interface. The basic probe has no controllable parts. We'll go through the vehicle controls later. The probe consumes very little power to remain active, but will run out eventually. Check the power panel in the bottom right. Currently available power is displayed as a blue bar at the top of the panel. Charge and drain rate fields indicate immediate charge and drain values in watt-hours. The bar at the bottom indicates the amount of auxiliary power in chemical batteries, which serves to refill available power. The basic probe has a single camera at its bottom and can have one single measuring instrument. The panel at the top right corner is divided into Cameras and Instruments tabs. Open the Instruments tab. First is a list of all the instruments installed on the vehicle. Our probe only embarks on an environmental analysis station. Clicking on an instrument will highlight it. Highlighted instruments have their status and information displayed below the list along with a button to operate them. Double-clicking on the instrument will select it and open the instrument HUD. Now select the EAS. The instrument HUD that's just superimposed on the interface shows complementary information, including controls to operate the current instrument. You can switch between 3 HUD modes, Instrument, Standard and Camera, with the corresponding icon at the top of the screen, or cycle them with the HUD key. Switch to the Standard HUD and we can finally start with the mission. Basic probe missions are the simplest and cheapest you can do. Probes are mostly used for exploration only, but they can also monitor or analyze the nearby atmosphere. This is exactly the task you are assigned now. You can have a look at it in the task list of the Mission tab at the top left panel. To analyze the atmosphere, we will use EAS embedded in our probe. All environment instruments are usable without requiring any special position or distance to the target.
There's 2 ways to do that.
Note that moving an instrument while it is sampling will compromise the sample process and you will have to start over.
I cranked up the music a little bit too loud, but it's alright. I didn't know about double clicking on that to choose that.
Congratulations! You have brilliantly operated the probe. This was just an
Brilliantly.
appetizer. Now let's move on to the small lander.
You can go over here and get the notification. I see it went in sequence.
Waiting for your mark, over. Copy that. Proceed to the drop. Out.
Alright, landing phase initiated. Take this occasion to study the specific flight mode HUD. The landing target is clearly visible as a green circle in the middle of the screen. The yellow cross is the velocity vector. It indicates the vehicle's current
switch
speed
to
and
manual,
direction.
right. I
Now
don't
at the
think
bottom
so.
right, fuel consumption is higher because of Earth gravity but still in norm. Descent speed at top right corner is about 5 meters per second. Everything looks fine.
Nice.
Once landed, the lander switches to standard mode, displaying a standard HUD. As you can see, all vehicles share the same on-screen interface. Let's now have a look at the standard controls panel. It consists of primary and secondary controls. Their purpose is to control a specific element embarked on the vehicle. Scroll through the elements of this lander by clicking on the small left and right buttons of the primary and secondary interface. A mouse icon indicates that the selected element can also be controlled with the mouse. You can also scroll through the list of primary items with the switch keys. Then use the movement keys, or the dedicated 4 arrows primary interface to control the selected primary item. For secondary controls, you can also use the switch keys to scroll through the list of secondary items. Then use the movement keys or the dedicated 4 arrows secondary interface to control the selected secondary item. For a summary of the controls, open the options menu, go to the key bindings tab and select the vehicle section.
Now, while we're here, I'll take the music and crank it down a little here. Keybind. Not sure exactly. Probably vehicle. Here's all the vehicle controls. Close the menu when you are done. It's a nice little tutorial. Primary. Cameras, that sort of thing. Well, there's roll. This movement's pretty tricky. There's a mission out in space I'm doing, and you can't hold the key down. It's like you click it, you gotta like double click it, and it stops.
The small lander possesses 2 robotic vertical arms that can carry a wide range of instruments. First, select the right arm by scrolling to the right robotic vertical arm with the switch keys, or by clicking on the small left and right buttons with the mouse.
So, like for the movement keys is usually, I keep that on the left, and the science platform,
Good.
whatever.
Now extend it by holding the movement keys, or by clicking with the mouse on the 2 big up and down arrows of the standard controls panel to move the attached instrument close to the ground.
I don't know where the attached instrument is close to the ground. Oh yeah, you can see him right in there. There's a robotic arm right. Oh, it's kind of stuck in there. So it just keeps going. We could look at the cameras here and see if there's anything on there.
Good. The instrument is now in range for analysis. Moving any further will break the arm. Speaking of analysis, a new mission has been assigned to the lander. Select the valid instrument required for the next analyzed task. This information can be found in the Tasks of the Mission tab in the top left panel. Then, select the instrument from the Instruments panel in the top right.
There's a different way to, well, you could look at the map. Oh, it says to task. So it's looking for the APXS. Now, this is something that I actually wasn't quite sure how to find, but now I know. You just go to Instruments, And now I know we can double click it, or we could select instrument.
Unlike environment instruments, active instruments like the Alpha Particle X-ray Spectrometer, or APXS, require an exact positioning in relation to their target. They are mostly mounted on a robotic arm for its ability to adjust their position and distance to the target. APXS irradiates a surface up to 100 mm away to discover elements contained in the analyzed area. Start the analysis when ready. Note that moving an instrument while it's sampling will compromise the sample process, and you'd have to start over.
Yeah, it's kind of long. I mean, it's not so bad, but... I think what I'd like to do when I get my scenario going is I
Once irradiating is complete, the sample analysis follows.
want to have
When the analysis is over, you can
rover
monitor
or
the mission's
something
completion in the
available
Mission
for it.
tab.
I don't know.
And voila! You've done a great job. You've been assigned a new task. Repeat what you just learned to perform it. Assess the task, then select and make the proper use of the instrument.
Back to mission. Task. I've been assigned a new task. Use all the tools at your disposal to perform the new task. Mission tab, instruments, standard controls, etc. Well, we could go to the instrument HUD, and we see that there's something that's there again. It's probably it's looking at the same. Oh, it says Rocky Sand Probe. It says probe. So we have to go to the probe, possibly. That's one way to find it. But I wonder if it's showing up. I don't see it in the... Oh, it says probe right there. It says probe down there. No, it's not green, but it says it's ready. So when we hover over it, we can analyze. I don't know what the probe does. That just says a mission was accomplished earlier. There's no task down there. Oh, there's another task. It says probe. It's not green. It may need more than one. I don't know. I'll open up the move that lander. Examine the point of interest. I don't know. I don't believe there's an instrument. There's the science platform there. That can move. I wonder if that's the camera. Let's see here. If you click on an instrument, you can actually move it with your mouse too, but let's see here. I want to look at how the camera moves here. It's possible that we've got to move the camera to a certain position. Oh, I see, it goes all the way around. Okay, so in a case like that, you would go to the inner camera view, one of these views here, probably the wide angle, and then you've got to, well, there's a square there, and you've got to get inside that square somehow. Which, I mean, it happens to be the whole area here, you know. There, it's in the area now. That's APXS. I need to go to the probe. And it says no target in range. That's what we've got to use. But that says probe soil. This is the science platform. Let's go here. There it says probe. Oh, there it is. It's actually showing up there. That has to go under the ground, and then it will show you that it's ready. There, it's ready, and there we go. Ow! We're probing the soil. We'll get there. Life is slow. Rome wasn't built in a day. What are you gonna do?
Good. Now you know how to use all the active instruments.
Hotel Actual to the control room. The site is clear. I repeat, the site is clear. Over. Copy that, Hotel Actual. Out.
All vehicles, with the exception of the basic probe we've already been through, can move one way or another. We've got another mission for you in this area. Open your map with the map key.
I wonder if there's no option to save it.
On the map, you can see your position, and all available missions are marked with the pin icon. The nearest,
You can
and in
click
our
on
case,
that
the
and it
only
will
mission,
fly right over
is
there.
located to the right of your position. While the mission is selected, click on Humility, the name of your lander, and press the green Assign Vehicle button. Leave the map once the vehicle has been assigned to the mission.
Well, I don't want to leave the map. Let's check out. We can check out some stuff here. There's a science mission, mission details, all kinds of stuff you can look at there.
Lander thrusters serve not only for landing, but also for moving between nearby tasks or missions. To switch to flight mode, hold the radial menu key and use the mouse to click on Flight Away Point in the right box. In flight mode, HUD elements are different.
That
and only
scared
the
me. I
descent
thought I was
camera
gonna flip
mounted at
over.
the bottom of the vehicle is online. Since we are testing on Earth, fuel consumption is greatly increased because of our higher gravity. Flying manually is possible, but the automatic system consumes less fuel, and we cannot afford to run out.
You cannot fly this thing manually. It's like next to impossible. I can't do it. It does a good enough job on its own.
This mission consists of photo tasks, so we'll use the Camera HUD and Cameras tab of the Instruments panel. To get pictures, we need you to move the science platform that has cameras 2 and 3 mounted on it.
So we'll go to camera. That's one of these. We'll use the wide angle first. Select science platform, which is already selected, and switch the camera to HUD mode. to camera HUD mode.
Depending on the distance between photo markers, you need to choose different cameras with various field of views. Now, take some shots of the launcher platform.
And see where it's green right here? Sometimes things will be red, but you still have a photo opportunity there. And when it's red, the reason why it is like that is because the picture is actually in behind, and you're looking at it from a different angle, so you've got to maneuver around to get the photo area to turn green so that you can take the picture. And there we go. There must be another one somewhere. I wonder if I have to use the telephoto to find it. Let's go back to the wide angle. Maybe there's just another. There's one there, but it's grayed out. That's why. Oh, maybe it's up higher. There's a green one up there. Yeah, I could hardly see it with the sky and everything. Okay. Wait, let's go back. It might actually be... Oh, there's a real small one. Where it says far, right there. Yeah. Let's see, I can't. It's actually moving. Okay, I gotta use a telephoto on that one, because the camera view has to take up the whole thing, and it's drifting. So I'll take advantage of the drift here. That's a real small area. It's gonna come right in there in a minute.
Those are some nice shots. Alright, that wraps up the lander training. Oh, before we move on, did you know you can switch among multiple vehicles when they are in the same area? Open the Connect tab of the top left panel. You can see the probe we used before in the vehicle list. Click on the probe line and press select to switch to that vehicle. Good job! This is how you switch to other vehicles located in the same area.
You can also do it on the map.
Alright, that's everything you need to know about the landers. Next up is the rover.
You can click on the map and go to select areas that way. That was left out.
Welcome to the rover part of your training. Rovers are mobile vehicles designed for the last years on Mars, while completing many different tasks throughout their lifespan. In that regard, they can be fitted with foldable solar arrays. The solar panels are folded in order to save space during landing. They should be deployed as soon as the vehicle is safely on the ground. Select the robotic solar panels in the standard controls panel and unfold them. Once fully deployed, you can check the power input in the power level panel.
I wasn't using these keys to drive the thing. I was using my mouse keys, but it's actually easier on your hands if you can just use the mouse keys to move it around. So, robotic solar panels right there. Now, I wouldn't drive this thing with those solar panels out. You could hit a rock. I mean, those babies come right off.
Depending on the conditions, a vehicle can obtain more energy from the sun than it consumes. Smaller or larger solar panels can be installed, depending on the vehicle's size, the exception being the probe. Keep deploying the panels to their final position.
Yeah, I definitely would only use it to leave the vehicle alone and let it charge.
That's it. Now larger vehicles like rovers can be piloted thanks to their 6-wheel driving system. We'll try it right now with the new Explore task.
Now, so you can go like this, right click and right click again, move the mouse. I could use the WSDA keys if I wanted to maneuver good. But if we had a long distance to go, we could just, let it go on its own. While it's going forward, you can turn it right. It's actually a lot easier to to drive it this way.
Exploration complete. Now, keep moving to the new Analyze task that has just been assigned. It consists of a stone to analyze with the APXS. Switching to the instrument HUD will help identify the sampling area.
So now we'll use the key here because we're kind of close.
Rovers possess specific robotic arms that unfold slowly into an L shape with a 180-degree rotation. Its head can hold several instruments, fully rotates 360 degrees sideways, and turns 180 degrees down. Position the rover with the robotic arm toward and close to the sampling area and unstow it.
There's also these hazard cams to help. Oh, I can't get access to them right now. Oh, the pictures on these are pretty good. Robotic arm. Robotic arm, head. Okay, this is what I was looking for in one other game earlier. Oh yeah, this has got this 6 degrees of freedom or whatever on this thing. I think that's where one of the cameras is on there. See, I think the solar panels, well, the fact that it's on a rock doesn't help out very well. It's probably sitting on a rock here or something. And it's moving. The wind could be doing that too. There's like a limit to where that thing can move. You can see the camera up there. See, yeah, you can. Oh, it's actually going down. I don't know what it's doing. Close to the rock to analyze. We probably have to back up here just a little, I think. I don't like driving with this thing extended either. We just have to move that camera. Probably move it down. Well. Does not seem to be going down. Oh, that's the head, that's why. That's going like backwards. I don't think that's going to go down that way, is it? Oh, it is actually. We may have to re-maneuver this. Am I looking at it or what? I mean, what's going on here? It's actually looking sideways. The camera must be... You have to rotate the head here. Which is what I thought. I'm looking at the sky here. Okay, there we go. We're getting better here.
You can also use the robotic arm head to fine-tune the position and distance of the installed instruments. Remember, the instrument HUD indicates the exact distance between the selected instrument and the surface in front of it.
The instrument HUD. Oh, really? Now we can scoot up here now that I know what I'm looking at. I'm like 1.9 meters. Oh, so I had to be able... Oh, see, I can't take the picture on the outside on this particular camera. You have to go in here. And as you can see, it's... What did it do? Did it hit the... It's just stopping. So... Yeah, you gotta be careful if your mouse is not doing the right thing. It can move it with the mouse, whatever. It doesn't work. See, it needs to be in that green area. Oh, I'm not even on the camera. That didn't work. I think it did, actually. I think it did work. Move the APX onto sampling distance by using the robotic arm and analyze and complete the analyze task. The APX tool. Oh, that's on the camera itself. So that's you rotate the instrument. I don't know which one is the APX on this. Oh, that's got a rig on there. No target to analyze. We have to turn this. I might be able to see what we're doing here. I'm right on top of it. I might have to back up a little or something. I can't move it up. close do I have to get to this thing? I don't know what's going on here. That's as far up as the head goes. That's touching that rock. I think I have to back up is what I think. Wait, I have to analyze soil. No, it's not working. I can't get in there. Am I on the right? I don't know, I can't seem to go any further. I don't know. I've got the right instrument. Sampling distance. I have no idea exactly what's going on here. There's that distance marker up there. 80 centimeters. .38 centimeters. It's hitting it. It's like right on top, you know? It's right on top of the rock. Oh, I got it. I was about ready to give up. I was like, okay, that's just not right. The landers do a better job because they have the thing you just stick it into the ground.
Once the irradiating is done, stow the arm back so it won't break.
Well, it's still analyzing. Oh, it said irradiating is done. That was a little bit lengthy. Oops. Oh, if I right click it, it stops the movement there. I'm not quite sure how to stow this back. You have to rotate that camera a certain way. Oh yeah, it goes, let's see, it goes back this way. And then the head. See, the camera's upside down. Oops, wait a minute. So I would think you would want the camera in the upright position. That looks pretty good. Just as far as it goes.
Great, that is how you control the robotic arm and its head. Next we'll use the last type of instrument, which are passive instruments. Passive instruments require no action on the control side, but as environmental instruments, they require you to be stationary in the task area. Drive into the next task area and stop there to complete the passive instrument analysis task. Note that passive instruments are not checking surroundings constantly, but in short intervals to save energy. Completing their task may take several seconds.
Yes, atmosphere RAD. Now I wonder if we look at the map, right click and you can move the map over. Oh, there's no way to move there. That's okay. We can look at the mission details. Completed. There's a, looks like there's a photo op and an analyze op that has to be done. That's kind of an easier way to figure out what's going on. I haven't used that other thing over to the left very much.
Good job. Final part to go through is the top-mounted mast. This mast has only 2 low-powered slots for cameras, where the advanced mast has 3 slots and can be fitted with a chemistry laser spectrometer on top. The mast can rotate nearly 360 degrees sideways and 160 degrees up and down. The last task we have for you is to take a close-up colored picture of the probe. There is a multi-zoom camera mounted on the mast, so you can look around using the movement keys, while the mast system is selected in the standard controls panel and the zoom 1 camera is selected in the cameras tab.
Oh, we've got to take a picture of the probe. Well, there must be... Where's the probe? Wait a minute, am I going in the right direction? Where's the probe? There it is. And while this thing is moving, you can hit the C key.
If necessary, you can drive closer to take the picture, or use the zoom function with the mouse, or the plus and minus buttons of the camera HUD. You can use the mouse to move the mast if it's selected above the correct control panel.
I'm moving the mouse right now. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's got a nice zoom function on it.
Nice work. This concludes everything we can teach you here. Let's move into the simulator to try out the Zero-G probe.
Oh god. I haven't seen this one yet.
Welcome to the Zero-G probe simulation program.
So that'd be
Program
good.
settings,
I don't even know
basic
what-
vehicle controls and extreme environmental conditions.
What this thing is.
First, the controls. The Zero-G probe can move and rotate in all directions. Linear thrusters control the probe's movements in all 6 directions.
Oh, that's that thing I had
Select
on
linear thrusters
that other
and
mission.
use the movement keys to move forward, backward,
Oh, yeah,
left,
okay.
and right. Use the up and down keys to move up and down. Try out the linear movement.
The up and down is the shift and the control key, which I...
Attitude thrusters control the probe's rotation. Select attitude thrusters and use the movement keys to roll forward, backward, and rotate left and right. Use the up and down keys to roll left and right. Try it out and move around a little for a few seconds.
Up and down to roll left and right. I know that's up and down. That's right and left.
You've got the hang of it. Stop the probe. Now let's try that without the automatic assistance systems. To turn them off, hold the radial menu key and use the mouse cursor to click Cancel Kill Rotation and Cancel Kill Translation buttons.
Cancel kill rotation. Where's the he said up and down keys. That's the roll, the home, that's the home and the end key for the roll. And those are the arrow keys. Those are the arrow keys there, and then that's the home and the end key. So you have to be really sensitive with this, so you have to just barely tap the key because this thing is in space, and then you can use, you have to like double tap to position. And you don't want to be going like too fast because it'll whip around. And disable assists. Disable assists. Alright, we're going to disable the assists.
Now, move around for a few seconds. Bearing in mind that if you rotate the probe too fast in any axis, it will eventually break. With assists off, you have to stop the vehicle yourself, including the rotation.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Okay, stop the vehicle now. Use the Kill Translation button in the radial menu if necessary. The third and last assist is gravity vector alignment. This is applicable only in
Oh
places
God, I
with
got
a
him all
detectable
twisted.
gravitational field. Turn it on through the radial menu.
Well, we know how to straighten that out now. Gravity assist.
The probe will set its default rotation with the bottom towards the gravity and will always reorient that way. Try it out by rotating the probe a little. We're all set with the controls. Let's try it out with the task. Complete the assigned tasks with the combined knowledge of previous training courses.
That's pretty cool. Alright, so mission task is to inspect the designated area of interest. So let's go to this. We're already at the C key. We should see. I don't know what the task is. Oh, the task is to go down there. Alright. That we can do. We don't need this on here now. Go in that direction. Where is the photo op? I'm guessing it might be that mountain. Wait a minute. Actually, I think I have to go to the exact location of the camera here. Well, let's see here. Let's see what we got. You gotta get right on top of this thing. That one goes that way. So we've got to take I think we have to take the gravity assist off. That's gonna be hard to do. I think we have to take a picture looking down is my guess. We might need this control. It looks like it wants to crash, doesn't it? Wait, I know. Let me look at, that's what we need to do there. That's what I was thinking I needed to do earlier. There we go. No. I don't know where the photo op is. Let's go up. It might be... See, the idea is to get that thing to turn green. You gotta get the arrow to turn green. And it's not doing that. I gotta watch my gravity. Oh god. Alright. I don't know why. Oh, there it is. The camera's got to come on. Oh, look at all the red ones over there. Oh, there's a crap load. There we go. There's all these green ones here. See if I can stop this thing from moving.
Good work. Now for the last part.
Simulating environmental conditions. Environmental conditions have been set to maximum.
Uh-oh.
If you look around the probe, you'll see meteorites hitting the surface all over the place. During this simulation, they will never hit you, so don't worry. But in reality, even a single meteorite is enough to destroy the probe. Plan the missions carefully, and always try to avoid sending missions to locations with bad environmental conditions. Okay, that is all you can learn here. Let's move on to the real thing.
That's not the real thing. Robotics training complete. So now it's talking. Now if I go back to the training session here. Oh, it shows the individual lists here that I've gone through all of those. So now I can go back and do the man training after I eat. That was pretty good, and what I'll do is I will edit this and we'll call this Take on Mars Robotics Training. That was pretty good. So I'm gonna have something to eat, and we'll be back and do the man training. I mean, I've been through it. It's mostly driving the vehicles, using the tools. I really don't need to do that. I probably won't do that tonight. I think I'm gonna work some more on the editor and maybe look at my mod and see how that works out. And that's kind of what I want to do. I'd like to be able to start actually doing the robotics actual missions to get to a point where I can start my scenario.